Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm Platter video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat the stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, there we go. I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm at the appropriate level of fanciness to review this next item, but we make do with what we must, folks. So here we are. But we'll get to that. Folks, super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, why I wear super cool shirts? I always like to highlight super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? Well, it's underneath the coat, but boom! Double boom! Boom! It's my non-point shirt. Excuse me. Specifically, this is from their Million Watts tour that I was fortunate enough to see just a couple months ago at the time I'm doing this, back near the end of 2023. Not even 2 months ago, like a month ago. Yeah, because it was in December. If you're unfamiliar with the band Nonpoint, they've actually been around for quite a while, like the late 90s. And they've just been plugging away at it, man. Like, I wasn't super familiar with them kind of during that, like, 90s, 2000s era thing. I think they just came in a little bit too late, and it was a little bit under the radar for me. But last year in 2023, they went on tour with Mudvayne and Cold Chamber and Butcher Babies and, like, you know, and it was a really awesome show. I really enjoyed their stuff. So when I got the opportunity to see them in a headlining capacity, I jumped at it. Bought a shirt. I took some videos of their performance. Quite a few, actually. I think like 5 or 6. Just in case you might be interested at all in some of my concert-going adventures. Those videos are also on the channel. But anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it super fancy? Well, folks, because shit, it's a collector's edition. Boom! It's a collector's edition of maple root beer from Sprecher. Craft soda with a maple syrup and cane sugar. Indulge in our famous maple root beer, skillfully crafted with real maple syrup for a subtle wintergreen essence, complementing its creamy finish in perfect harmony. Gotta get a thing. Gotta get the thing, because it's like all super fancy. Sure, it's even got like the nifty, the whole top thing. Yeah, so I mean, I've reviewed some stuff from Sprecher before. I like them. They're, I think, out of Wisconsin, I want to say. They make good soda, like kind of craft soda. And I don't know if I've ever had their maple root beer, but I like root beer so much so I, in fact, have an entire playlist for root beer called Root Beer Reviews. This is definitely going to be on it. So let's go ahead and let's try to open this up as... Get it somewhat gently, or is it just gonna... I don't think there's a way to... Come on. Maybe. Well, that's what it is. Trying to preserve the collector's edition mark. It didn't work. Anyway, let's open up the thing. Ooh, okay. Ooh, it smells good. Oh, it smells like good root beer. Let's give it a go. Tis indeed some good root beer. I like it. I like that a lot. So I'm a big root beer fan, and I'm very particular when it comes to root beer. Now, Sprecher's normal root beer, or Sprecher, I'm never fucking sure how to pronounce it. I like it. It's pretty good. It's not like my favorite craft root beer. That distinction probably goes to Virgil's. But I do like their stuff. I like this more than I like their normal root beer, by a fair amount. And here's why. It reminds me a little bit more of Virgil's. And, like, I don't mean that to be me, like, in a insulting capacity. But it's just that one of the things I really like about Virgil's is that it has a lot of complexity to it. You know, like there's a lot of things going on with every time you drink it. And with this, I feel that kind of similar thing where it's like, you know, like it said, there's like sort of a wintergreen aspect to it, and then you have the maple aspect. It has a level of complexity that I don't feel that their normal stuff, their normal root beer, typically has. You know, it's, again, good root beer, but this I definitely feel is a level up from that. And I really like that sort of wintergreen aspect. It reminds me a little bit of birch beer. And I've reviewed some birch beers here on the channel as well. If you're unfamiliar, it's kind of a cousin to root beer, but it has sort of a minty earthiness to it. And you kind of get that a little bit here. But I really like this. This is very good. So I mentioned pretty much whenever I do root beer reviews, there's kind of two camps when it comes to root beer in terms of like commercial root beer. On the one side, you have root beers that are like A&W and Mug, which are very commercial, very kind of for everybody. They try to fit as many taste buds as possible. They tend to be sweeter, not a lot of complexity to them. You know, not bad drinks, but they're a little bit more simple. Then, on the other hand, you have root beers more like Dad's and Barks, which are a little bit harsher, a little bit more going on to them, a little bit more for, and I am not trying to be like a gatekeeper about it, but a little bit more for like people who are like into root beer. You know, they want that more sort of stronger root beer essence. So whenever I try a new root beer, I basically try to sort of see where does it fall in with those camps. In this, it's definitely more in with like the Bargs and the Dads, which works for me because those are the type of root beers that I like. I like root beers that are stronger, that, you know, have that oomph to them, that punch. Even though I do like Mug and I like A&W on occasion. But yeah, this falls more into that category. It is more of a root beer drinker's root beer. And about the only thing I would say that's missing from it, it doesn't really have much of a bite. That's the only downside to this root beer. I personally like when a root beer has some oomph to it. That's just me. I like it when it has a little bit of a kick in the ass. This, it's got complexity. It's got, you know, a little bit more of a mature taste. It's still sweet, but not like overly sweet. Nothing like, again, like Mug or like A&W. That wintergreen aspect is definitely my favorite aspect of it. Again, it kind of just brings it to almost a birch beer kind of flavor. And like the maple aspect is nice too. It's, you know, kind of creates a little bit of a contradicting flavors, which if you watch my show, you know I like that kind of stuff. But I can get down with this. I like this quite a bit. Now all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes, and mostly yes. So, if I'm not mistaken, because like even though this is like the collector's edition version thing, which sure, I believe that they do just have this as one of their regular flavors. I don't know if there's any distinction between the collector's edition and like the normal version of it. Like if maybe, you know, it's more mature or something. I don't know. But, you know, I could see, I'll say this. Again, Sprecher isn't my outright favorite craft root beer, but I like it. I'll get it every now and again. I would get this over the normal Sprechers. So it would kind of take that place. But would it go over there and replace like some of my other personal favorites like Virgil's or Dad's? No, but I do still like it. And I appreciate what they're doing with it. You know, if I'm recommending it, again, it's sort of that thing of like, okay, well, where does the individual fall as far as, you know, their enjoyment of root beer? Because a lot of people, a lot of people I know who like root beer, really they're just talking about, again, like the A&W and the Mug. And again, I'm not trying to shit on that. There's absolutely a place for like sweeter root beers, and, you know, there's more ones that just work well commercially. This, I don't think would be so much for you, because again, I just think there's a little bit more going on. But at the same time, I wouldn't suggest not trying it. I would suggest maybe getting it in the regular bottle instead of the collector's edition, because obviously I had to pay more for this. But overall, like, it's not, even at its worst, it's not like a root beer that I think that more commercial root beers would find like offensive or anything, or hard to drink. Because again, it doesn't have that same like oomph to it. But I think if you can run into it, definitely give it a shot. It's interesting, and I personally like it quite a bit. So 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go have yourselves a truly root beer-tastic rest of your life, because when it's root beer related, it's always going to be root beer-tastic. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Just yesterday, I was over there. We had a big-ass freaking snow, like the first real proper heavy snow. And, man, fucking went over there, filled up the driveway. And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have to shovel out at least some of the driveway. Maybe not the whole thing, but if I want to get the truck out. Digging out. I went over there, I slipped, I fell, banged my bad knee. Didn't put me in a very good mood. And that shit's going to happen, you know. When it does, it's up to us to go over there, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe there's some collector's edition of some soda that you like. And you're like, Brandon, you need to try out this collector's edition of Mr. Pibb. I think it's called Pibb Extra now, which is just freaking stupid. Just call it Mr. Pibb. And you got to try it, but it's only available in Tahiti. All right, well, now I got to go on a Tahitian adventure. And so then I got to go do that, and it's like a whole Indiana Jones thing. And, there might be Nazis involved, because Indiana Jones tended to deal with Nazis, but there's not really a lot of original Nazis left, thankfully. So maybe I'll just knock the shit out of some neo-Nazis or something, but they're fucking pansies. They're not gonna... Wouldn't be much of a movie if it was just me knocking the shit out of neo-Nazis. I don't know, maybe it'll be a time travel arc or something like the last movie. Or conversely, just go watch the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. You don't need to watch the other ones. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is pretty much universally hated. And then the new one, the time one, yeah, wasn't great. Anyway, bye.